This is Riot Radio News.
I'm PJ Scher. This is what's making news this hour. Reports in Durham are saying that cases of COVID are at its highest number since June. This Tuesday, the Durham Region Health Department has confirmed 24 cases of the virus. The last time that Durham had any high cases like this was back in June, with a report of 21 cases. These numbers that have been reported bring the total number of cases up to 114. In sports, the Las Vegas Raiders have received heavy fines due to violating sideline coronavirus protocols. The event seemed to take place after the Raiders' Monday night win. The incident involved an unauthorized team employee deciding to enter the locker room of the Raiders without the credentials to be allowed. Reports say he bypassed the security checkpoints to enter the locker room. The incident is being studied and seen if discipline is warranted. This was not the first time the Raiders were fined, after their coach Gruden was fined $100,000 for not wearing a mask on the sidelines during the Monday night game. Riot Radio weather. Well, today it's looking like we have a chance of showers with a high of 13 degrees and a low of 5, with a cloudy night. Then tomorrow, it's looking like we will have even more showers with a high of 16 degrees. Also, it's currently 13 degrees. For Riot Radio News, I'm PJ Scher. Welcome to the Monster Bash. I'm your host, PJ Scher. On today's show, we'll be talking about what Durham College is having, an election. Following that, to get us into the Halloween mood, I'm gonna recommend some media to get us prepared. Starting with Blood, a good old-fashioned 90s horror shooter, which I think is better than Doom, and Ash vs. Evil Dead, the return of the greatest Ash Williams, and the return of some good old-fashioned Deadites. That's all coming up today on the Monster Bash on Riot Radio.
News, interviews, and events. What's going on at Durham College? This is DC Focus.
This week on DC Focus, Durham College is holding its own election, where we get to vote for new members for Board of Directors. It seems they are looking for new directors for these schools. School of Skilled Trades, Apprenticeship in Renewable Technology, School of Hospitality and Horticulture Science, and last but not least, School of Interdisciplinary Studies. You can get an application for this at www.dcstudentsinc.ca/elections. The applications will be received till October 13th, 2 p.m. So if you're looking to apply, do so now. You never know what could happen if you don't try. But if you're not going to apply then, don't forget to vote, 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 as you never know what could happen. As for when that's going to happen, it will open October 20th, 9 a.m. to October 22nd, 5 p.m. So don't forget to check your email. Also, if you go to the Durham Students Inc. website or their YouTube channel, there's an info section that you can check out, with many people in it from different positions, which I'm sure will inform you better about the election that Durham is hosting. So make sure to do your research on who you want to vote for. There is a candidate's bio section on the website that has not yet been released, but when it is, be sure to check it out when the time comes. Personally, I may not know a lot about politics or board of directors, but whoever is joining this election, all I can say is, I wish all candidates the best of luck, and hope you all have a fun time. And hey, in the future, this may look great on the resume, so no matter if you win or lose, just have fun. But don't forget, once again, applications are due October 13th, 2 p.m., and voting starts the 20th at 9 a.m. to the 22nd, 5 p.m. And you can lastly get all this info at the Durham College Students Inc. website. So be sure to check it out and keep yourself informed of what's going on. That's DC Focus, right here on Riot Radio.
You're listening to the broadcasting for radio and contemporary media students at Durham College. Now back to more news, campus information, and informative talk, right here on Riot Radio.
Come one, come all, to the Monster Bash. I'm your host, PJ Scher. Well, it's actually Scher, but I had to fit in a horror pun somehow, so I apologize. But let's get into it. This is a horror show. Let me tell you about Blood, a horror video game. What is Blood? It is a 90s retro FPS video game that plays akin to Doom and Duke Nukem. Also, two of the reasons you have not heard about the game because it got overshadowed. But you're wondering, what's it about? Well, you play as Caleb, an undead gunslinger who comes back from the dead to wreak havoc upon an evil cult who killed you, your girlfriend, and your best friends. Though, like, you are the good guy in the fact that you're destroying an evil cult, you actually were a part of the cult, and you were one of its best members, so, like, you really weren't the good guy to begin with. But, like, I don't think anyone else is going to stop it, so, you know, revenge, all that stuff. So, Caleb comes back with a trusty pitchfork, dynamite, and a plentiful of other weapons, and goes to wreak havoc and kill Chernobog, a spider, a gargoyle, and Cerebus. But only with 2 heads, so, like, not Cerebus, but it is him, so, you know, it's kind of weird. But, you know, blood. So throughout this game, you go through a plentiful of horror-themed levels.
Wow, this promises to be fun.
You go through Camp Crystal Lake, but I'm pretty sure, like, legally distinct Crystal Lake, Boggy Creek, an opera akin to Phantom of the Opera. One of my favorite levels takes place in this horrible carnival. And also, I should probably tell you, the monsters you fight. Zombies, cultists, spiders, gargoyles, little Cerebus dogs, Gilman, you know, a bunch of horror tropes. But let me tell you the star about this video game. Caleb, voiced by the professional Stephen Waite.
I have something for you.
If you've heard the voice lines in these games, which I'll probably be showing you in here,
Putting on the Ritz.
he is one of the best. He kills every single line he has, and even so, they're pretty funny if you've ever listened to some of them. Like, I'm gonna probably show you his maniacal laughter, and you can tell he's having fun. But yeah, Caleb is this cool gunslinger who just doesn't care, and who, you know, as akin to every FPS, minus Doom, because, you know, no talking, he has voice lines referencing movies like Army of Darkness, The Shining.
Here's Johnny.
Which actually also is a level in that game, and you can find Jack in there. But, like, oh my god, it's such a fun game. It's hard, let me tell you that, but, like, once you know how to play, you know how to play. So, pick up that Tesla cannon, that napalm launcher, and just go to a town with a bunch of cultists, and save the world, even though you're not really saving it because, like, you want to. It's more for, like, petty reasons. Well, not petty, because, you know, you're going for revenge because he killed you, but, like, remember, you're not the good guy in this game. Though, you are a cool guy. That sounded lame, but who cares? This is my show. But, continuing on with this theme of horror, let me tell you about a story about a man with a chainsaw for an arm.
Groovy.
Bruce Campbell is back to play Nash Williams in this TV show, and let me tell you, it is brutal, violent, gory, and vulgar. So basically, everything you expect from Evil Dead. And let me tell you, it is wild. The Deadite designs are probably my favorite. One of my favorites is one that is 3 people combined into one. How does that work? Check out the show and you'll understand how. They're just amazing. Like, the Deadite designs are just... they're creepy, horrifying, somewhat comedic, but in a really horrific way.
Chopping up my evil clone. Maybe someday that'll feel weird.
Like, they go all out. And sometimes things get possessed that you didn't even know can get possessed by a Deadite. Yeah, it's wild. And let me tell you, even the side characters in the show are great. Like, Pablo and Kelly, who were Ash's co-workers, who end up, I'd say, reluctantly joining him on his trip because I don't know how to describe, I don't even think they really do describe why they kind of join him. I guess, like, they're like, okay, this is bad, we have to help him. Though Pablo kind of has his own destiny as a Bruja, which is, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like this kind of wizard, warlock sort of thing, and it's really cool. And then Kelly, she's honestly the normal character, if that makes sense, but she is still awesome. And then the main villain, I'm not going to spoil anything about her. She's great. She has great moments, and she does return a lot, and it's not like a bad thing, it's just weird. It makes sense, but it's weird. But obviously the star of this is Bruce Campbell, who's back playing Ash.
I'm not big on goodbyes. Everybody dies here. It's just a rule. Death, taxes, more death, and I don't pay taxes.
And Ash is basically what you expect him to be. Awesome Deadite killing warrior, but also a sad sack, because kind of like Deadite killing's really his only good thing, and it's really a cosmic joke. Like, the first episode, it shows him at his work and how he's like really bad at it, and I'm pretty sure like the only reason his boss kept him around was he felt bad for Ash, but like at the same time he knew Ash was like, okay, you're just terrible. Like, literally the first scene of like Ash at his work is him just like dropping this big box of glass and then just sweeping it under like this dishwasher, basically explaining Ash up in its own way. And then when Deadites come back, Ash is like really confident because he's great at Deadite slaying. So once again, cosmic joke. But yeah, the show is amazing. Though there is a weird thing, I think it was only in the first season, they couldn't get the rights to Army of Darkness. And then I think around the second season they got it back. Because Army of Darkness, if I'm correct, was a different production company than Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 1. But it's like weird because like it starts off with Ash having a wooden hand instead of his robotic hand, and then through on out he gets like his robotic hand. And then if I'm correct, they do literally mention Army of Darkness and all that stuff, because time travel does take play in this show in a really weird but fun way, which I'm not going to spoil. Oh, and I will say this: if you're a fan of the classic Cabin, you'll see what happens. So yeah, I highly recommend this show for October. Trust me, it will give you that Evil Dead feeling you've been missing out on.
This has been The Monster Mash
On Riot Radio.